It's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another unboxing and first impressions. And today is a magical device by the guys at MagicX, the Zero 40. Is it a vertical handheld because the screen is vertical, or is it a horizontal because you have controls on the sides? I'm not sure. I haven't dug into this box yet, but let's find out right after this. Hey fam, Swati Tukung Krap Pinik here, and it's time to dig into this MagicX Zero 40. Now, you might be wondering, why is the screen vertical? Two reasons. This is a device that is primed for Nintendo DS. It'll split the screen half and half for you. And then also it's designed to be a Tate device. If you remember from arcades from years ago, the screens were actually kind of vertical. So this is meant to mimic those as well. So it makes it where you can have a Tate device, a vertical screen, without having to have vertical controls. So it's kind of a hybrid between horizontal form factor that you normally think of because you have controls on the side, whereas you also get the Nintendo DS splitting the screen. Now it is a 4-inch diagonal screen, but it's a 3:5 aspect ratio screen. So if we take a look around the box, you see nothing on this side, nothing on this side. This side's just mentioning that we have black colors and white. You can see I got a check mark on white because I went with white, and I got the 128 gigabyte option. Now, if we take a look here on the box, sorry about that there. If we look at that, we have A133 Pro or P model with 2 gigabytes of RAM. It has a 4-inch IPS display, of course, zero distance OCA full lamination with 480 by 800 because we have what would normally be a landscape display on a vertical display orientation. Supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth with built-in vibration, fingerprint-free multi-touch. I guess we'll find out if it really is fingerprint-free. A 4,300 milliamp hour battery should last you 5 to 7 hours of battery life. I love that it says Hall Effect joysticks, but there's only one joystick, but that's all right. It does have dual stereo speakers. Does that mean there's 4? Dual stereo? Nah, there's just 2. So just stereo speakers, but that's all right. You can see the dimensions here. At its widest, 136 millimeters, by its tallest, 105, by its widest, 17 millimeters. So let's get into this MagicX, my second ever reviewed MagicX device. So we lift up the box, and whoops, looks like they flipped it around backwards on us. So what do we got under here? Let's take this off to the side. Online services, Discord, perfect. We got the right manual? We do. We got the MagicX Zero instruction manual. Now, is it a good manual? You can see on this side we have simplified Chinese, and then on this side we have English. Contents, controls, global settings, adding a wallpaper for each platform. I'm guessing that means that's like a thumbnail. Okay, CPU mode switch. Okay, we have different ones, of course. Screen scraper, which of course is very nice. Game directory management. Adding games, add install apps. Now it isn't based on Android, but from my understanding, it's kind of a unique Android because there's no, from what I understand, internal memory on the device. So even Android itself is stored on the micro SD card. Never heard of that happening on any other device. So I'll be interested to see how that performs. There we go. My manual's not perfect, but that's all right. And let's check this out here. I'm guessing this is simply the USB-C to USB-A cable that comes with most devices, but let's double check. Looks like it from the inside. I don't want to destroy the package though. So I'm just going to say yes. I don't see anything else in there, which I'm glad it's white because I got the white device, so it's color matching. And I like that they've created this little nook for it. Very nice. Simple packaging, but I like it. And I like that they give you their Discord, nice little white bag, and then our little foam protector protecting the sticks and the case, and there we are. You can see it. Now this is a nice device thumbstick. It's nice and curved in, so it feels really nice on the thumb. Seems to have a good range of motion, even though it's a stick that's like a Nintendo Switch. And then we have a D-pad here. A little stiff, but not too stiff. I can appreciate that. Face buttons, a little clicky, more than they were on their MagicX Zoo 10, but still good. Relatively quiet. Start select, like good old school. And then we have inline triggers here. We have R1, R2, and L1, L2. You can see we have DC, OTG, which this will be like your for you to connect a controller to, or video out, usually, and a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Kind of interesting that it doesn't, the center of the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack isn't to the center of the USB-C port, but maybe that's just the size constraint thing here. And then we have Ampon. Now they were, as you saw on the box, the publisher. So I believe what happened here is MagicX designed it and Ampon paid for it to be made. You see we have passive system there. Okay, and so we have the G button, which was famous on the Zoo 10 for being on the right hand side with the power buttons on the back side of it. So there's their famous G button. We have volume up and down on this side. We have two USB-C, or sorry, we have two micro SD card slots. We have two micro SD card slots. You can see the TF int, which is the one that includes the operating system on it. You can see that's currently filled with the 128 gigabyte card I ordered. And then you also get the external. You also get the external micro SD card slot there too. Now, because I was one of the first orders, this is supposed to be a name brand micro SD card slot. Yep, there you go. See, you can see it's a SanDisk Ultra. After that, they're using different ones, but that's all right. I'm sure that they will still be a good quality. And you can see I have a nice little screen protector on here. So let's get that screen feel going. Oh, that's very nice screen feel. Appreciate that. And then, yeah, of course, it's going to be glossy, but looks good. The face buttons are glossy and a little clicky, but I mean, if you're playing it normally, they're fairly quiet. The D-pad is fairly quiet and is matte. So interesting that they went with different textures or paint styles on the two. You can see there's a LED status light here. And again, this is matte as well, but feels really nice. And I imagine that will feel great on some games that require sticks, and being able to hopefully map the D-pad to this so you can use games that only supported D-pad natively. You can be able to do it that way. Let me see, it says tablet loading. Like say here, you can see the stereo speakers. Dawn Launcher is the name of their launcher that they put over the top of Android, but this is Android. So again, as you can see, it is a touch screen and it is Android. So I believe we do have access to the Play Store. I just haven't obviously tried it yet, so I don't know. All right, so you can see Nintendo DS here. See here, settings. So you can choose different things there. I appreciate that. And from what I've heard, ESDE is working on a 3:5 aspect ratio version of ESDE to be able to make it compatible with this. So if you want to leave Dawn Launcher and have a native experience, you should be able to do that just fine once ESDE launches with its 3:5 aspect ratio support. And they just did launch also support for being able to add Android apps within ESDE as apps. So again, you can have it be your main launcher like this and make it work for you just fine. Okay, so you can see they included Drastic, which is obviously famous for its DS support. Okay, they gave you Balatro. All right, so then you get your Android apps over here too. And we get Firefox out of the gate. Yaba Sonshiro 2 Pro. Because it is based on Nintendo, the enter button is the A button. I prefer it down here because again, I'm an Xbox and PlayStation kind of guy, but I appreciate that. They're sticking to Nintendo controls, FPS 60 frames. Interesting that it's 60.34, but that's interesting. Let's see here, load content. Though it's my first time, I'm not sure how they have everything set up. Okay. Yeah, so you can see again, it is touchscreen. It feels nice. It's nice and smooth. Probably has my fingerprints all over it now, smudged it up. But what do you expect from Phoenix, right? So, and then let's see here. Okay, let's go ahead and quit. As I mentioned, you can do Nintendo DS or arcade games out of the box. So you can see Tate here, Tate game. Tate is the vertical games. And you have arcade, Atari 7800, Atari Lynx, more arcade, CPS is Capcom Gaming, Dreamcast, interesting, Famicom, which is the original Nintendo, Game & Watch, Game Gear, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color and Television. Yeah, I mean, they loaded this thing full. Interesting that they have separate for PSP versus PSP Minis, original PlayStation, Saturn, Sega, the SG-1000, Nintendo DS. Let's take a look here. Yeah, let's use global defaults. Okay, so you can easily enter in integer scale, overlays, CPU modes. All right. There we go. Now I can get into the Nintendo DS. Just want to check one out here for you. They have definitely loaded this thing full of games for us. Okay, ATV Quad Kings. I've never played that before. Let's give it a try. See how it looks on this stretched out screen. Again, so you can see the top DS screen, and then you can see the bottom there, just like it would have been had this been the console, and then this is kind of acting as the hinge. Thank you for reminding me to enjoy gaming, Nintendo. Sure, we're from America. We'll make it easy. Sure, Zero. Let's go over here to Zero. And my name is Zero. Sure. I just want to get to a race to try it out for y'all. I like that you can see the smoke blowing out the back of the four-wheeler or the ATV. Okay, so interestingly, you can see here, you can see the map and the current standings. All right, here I go. Yeah, all right. Whoa. Again, this is kind of designed for Nintendo DS and those Tatsuya games because of the orientation of the screen. I know that there was no Nintendo DS with a perfect square orientation like this, but it does make for an enjoyable experience. Got to catch up with these guys, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the controls feel good. Okay, you can change your, whoa, you can choose which screen you want it on. Whoa, fast forward. I guess if games are too, DS games are too slow for you, you can enable the fast forward. Quick, easy button press. A little too easy for me. So I'm just going to pause it here because I'm having way too much fun already and I don't want to get distracted from this video. So I'll put this back in its little box. Perfect fit. I want to know what you think of this device. I mean, look at this unique shape and the unique form factor of having a vertical screen with horizontal style controls on the side. What about this thumbstick? How do you feel about having a single thumbstick? I think for this use case, it's more than enough. It's nice and thin. I'm sure you noticed whenever I was turning it around, it's relatively thin, just a little bit thicker than most phones are today. And it feels good in the hand whenever you're trying to play. Your hand has a good place to rest, actually. I appreciate that. Actually, kind of put your fingers down there. Feels nice and natural to me. I am thinking I'm going to enjoy this device. I'm sure the people at my church will be. enjoying this too over the next week. But I'm excited about this device. I hope that you'll leave your comments down below and let me know what game you'd like to see played on this whenever I do my review, and I'll do my best to have a review section. So far, nobody's been asking for games recently, so please sound off in the comment section below. And until next time, this has been P-Nick.